Now compare the United States to the Philippines. And not everybody, obviously. Those of you like in LA or some other city, whatever. So somebody's taking a tree down here. One thing is he's climbing up there barefoot. He's probably been doing that all his life. He is using a machete, not a saw, not an electric saw, not a chainsaw. No, he has a machete and he's chopping all of that with a machete. Now, I don't know why they're taking that tree down. Apparently that will serve them the way they want it to. But also in the USA, first of all, you'd have all those tools to take it down lickety-split. But second of all, you'd have it all hauled away and chipped up and thrown away. Well, I don't mean those of you in Idaho. We would definitely be putting that wood, we'd stack it up and it would be burned next summer. But here, the same thing. That's exactly what they're going to do. We're burning it for heat, and they're going to take every little bit of that. The leaves, they'll dry out and burn them for smoke to keep the mosquitoes away. And the rest, all the wood, they will split all that up and use it for cooking. He may or may not split it up himself. And I really mean split it up. I'm talking about to thin pieces like this big and about 2.5, 3 feet long. That's how they do firewood here. Because they're not heating with it, they're cooking with it. So that's a pretty neat difference. And they'll be able to literally, no problem, if they don't want to split it up and make it themselves, they'll be able to sell it. Nobody gives anything away here. The man across the street sitting right there, he's under a tree that has this jackfruit on it. And he literally harvests 1 or 3 or 2 of those every day. And he sets them out. Somebody comes along and buys them. That's how they do it. I mean, he has his long tools to get it down and a little bag attached to it. He does it every day, and then he sells his fruit. People don't just give things away here unless they have a party and they want to bless their neighbors with a plate of food. I've been blessed like that a couple of times. And we've blessed other people with a plate of food a couple of times. And even if it's a person that there was one that we didn't get along with, and we took a plate of food to that person, and the next thing you know, there was no problem. Now we get along with that person. Not exactly sure if I trust that person. I don't. But the behavior has changed, and I appreciate that. And believe this or not, that person actually defended me the other day. I was so surprised. You know, chismo. People talk around here. If you say the wrong thing, somebody will have an attitude, and they don't have it with you. They just go talk about you to everybody. And next thing you know, just don't give anybody an attitude here. This is not America. It is not going to go well for you if you do that. Trust me. I've done it. Anyway, I just wanted to show you this guy. Doing a great job taking that tree down, and I think they're going to miss that tree because it shaded part of their house, but that may very well be why they're taking it down. I think it's a jackfruit tree. I don't know. I'm thinking yes. I believe it is a jackfruit tree. And if if a jackfruit tree has a fruit on it and it drops and your roof is underneath it, you're gonna have a problem. Trust me, you will have a problem. Hey, ¿cómo está? He was alerted by the people behind that tree that are watching. They just have so much laughter in them about me doing this. I guess I look like a freaky American with a camera looking out my window. I don't know. That's a pretty cool neighbor, but they do it, when they laugh constantly, it does make you feel a little bit, I don't know. Think about it. Just, if somebody laughed every time they saw you, what would you think? I know what's true. They're just insecure people. And many people are here. But it wears on you after a while. I mean, what's there to laugh at? But he does. Look, can you, you can't see. But he's back there and he's just laughing. Oh my gosh. He is just laughing. What's there to laugh at? Has to be embarrassment. Anyway. It's hard to take sometimes. You got to keep a good attitude. And that's not very easy for me. Anyway, so if that jackfruit drops on their roof, it's a big pain in the ass. It'll wake everybody in the house up. Not to mention, if it's a jackfruit, it can be big enough to break your roof. I mean, it can be pretty darn big. As big as somebody's head. Like more than 8 pounds. There's a fruit tree right here, and I don't know if you can see that tree right there with all those little red things on it. Those are little fruits, hairy little fruits. Take them off, and they are delicious. People climb for those. But if they fall on your roof like this one did on mine, when I first got here, man, one person threw, they used a slingshot, and they shot stuff up on my roof to see what the American would do, and I did do the wrong thing. I reacted, so, I got a lot of attention after that. It took me till I made the mistake to realize it. I don't react anymore. Just stay in my house, let them have their fun, and as kids do, they get bored if they don't get a reaction, and then they go away. But anyway, after that, this fruit became ripe and started falling. And it hits your roof really hard. I don't know if you know. I don't think you do if you're in America. That galvanized metal over there is very, very thin. As thin as your can of Coke or any can. You can crush it. You can rip that roof. You don't even need scissors. You can cut it with a pair of scissors. That's how thin it is here. It's not that way in America. My roof is no longer like that. I put some really good metal on my roof. You want to see? That's good stuff right there. Thick. Anyway, so it sounded like people were throwing rocks, man. It really pissed me off, and that's what happened when I got the neighbor that we were previously having problems with. I saw one of the kids in her tree throwing those at my roof, and I told her off. Trying to get a reaction, get your damn kids, take care of them, and, well, that was a mistake. That's when I learned people do not confront anybody here. Well, if you're an American. Remember, there's double standards. If you're an American, don't confront anybody. It will not go well for you, but they might confront you, and it's okay for them because they belong here, unlike you. That must be difficult, chopping that tree with a machete. So, yeah, be careful. But the other day when there was a problem, all the Aborigines were like a B-flick movie because I got water on one of their kids, It was an accident, but the parents came over and they were acting like a B flick from the 70s, literally. You know, remember the Indians that surround your wagon and they're making all that noise and their spears and arrows, and that's how it felt. I swear, I kid you not, that's what it felt like. I'm a little traumatized by that. I've never been treated so badly in my life, having not done anything. But I was really appreciative because the prez, there was a big investigation. You know, a water did get on somebody's kid. You have to understand that's a federal case here because an American did it. There was an investigation, and the prez came, and all the people were out. The whole friggin' neighborhood was in front of my house. I really have never been treated so badly in my life. Never felt so self-conscious in my life. But then the prez, he actually was on my side. And then the old prez, he was on my side too. Somebody put something up on the internet about deporting me because, by God, I got their kid wet. Holy shit, that was a big mistake. You know, fuck the little kid as far as I'm concerned. I don't care. Who gives a crap? You know what? If his friend would have done it, he would have been, oh, yay, they love water here. It's hot. But he wasn't expecting it, and neither was I for that matter. And it hit him, and he started crying. The poor little baby started crying. And then his fucking Aboriginal parents, sorry about the cussing, but I really am pissed about this. They acted like uneducated, ridiculous people. I don't know about you, but I learned from my daughter. You are ridiculous. If your kid comes home crying and you get your little spear out and start jumping up and down and run down the street, by God, and you're ready to kill for that baby of yours, you're going to embarrass yourself to death. If you live in a civilized country like mine, you are wrong. I promise you you're wrong because I know, I guarantee you, every single time your kid earned it. And nobody did anything that was wrong. Nobody did it. Nobody victimized your precious little frickin' kid that nobody likes but you. And guaranteed, your kid earned it. And you know what? That's exactly what everybody around here said. And that's why she went home. And she didn't get what she wanted. She wanted to call the police. I mean, it was a federal case. I threw water off this balcony, and the kids, just previous to that, I told them to move, and they did. And they were over there taunting me, and I just don't give a shit. You know, if you want to get back under there, you see what I'm doing, go ahead. And so I just kept going and doing my thing, and I don't have the size of, well, if you look at that thing right there and it's a container and that's full of water, that's what I threw off the thing, and it landed square on his head. I couldn't have aimed and done so well. And I didn't aim. In fact, I was right here and I couldn't even see it. You know, he was right under there where he wasn't supposed to be. Here's where I'll show you where he was. Right down here in my area on my pile of sand, which is what I was throwing my water on. And you know what? Good. The kid deserves it. It didn't hurt him. He learned a lesson, and by God, they don't play in my yard and taunt me anymore. And I'm very, very satisfied with that. But talk about being treated wrongly. You know, they could come apologize to me anytime. I do deserve an apology. They acted ridiculous. I have treated them well in the past. I didn't even know who they were until recently. But you know, I've treated them and her partner very well. And their kids used to sit on the side of the road when I went by because I'm an American, not because I'm special. But they would all wave, "Hi, Americana," you know, and I would wave back. I was always very polite. And then one little thing happens, and it's an accident, and you wouldn't believe how they acted. You can never, I cannot describe it. The best way to describe it is what I've told you. Fake Indians, 1970, degrading themselves and other Indians, real Indians, by acting in a movie, some John Wayne movie. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Never saw anything so ridiculous in my life. But it tells you how unsafe it can be here for an American. You are not liked. You are not appreciated. You are not one of them. Just because you marry a Filipina, you do not have the same rights. No, not in their minds, because you're only good while they like you. But the minute they have a little disagreement, you're trash and you need to go home. Even though, Americans did liberate their country, and that's why they're free today. Not that we should take any credit. I don't. I'm just mad. They actually also did it themselves. A lot of people died in that war. But Americans don't hurt them. And actually, we contribute to their economy. And a lot of us are really good, really decent. But there's a lot of poverty here. And as you know, it doesn't matter where you go, even in America. If you go into a impoverished area, and you set up shop and you have, well, quite frankly, a better house than most people here. If you look at that house out there, and this house out here, and this grass hut next to my house, and all those houses there, do you see anything that's even close to what I'm living in? I don't think so. No. And so, of course, not just because you're in the Philippines, not just because you're white, although that does mean something here. You don't have to be in a nice house to be not liked. I've been told about this. I didn't know, but there's a lot of discrimination against Americans, not necessarily white, or they could be any American, black, white, Filipino, it doesn't matter. If you're from America, these are a bunch of poor people, and they just don't appreciate you. Why can you come here and build a house and take one of their women and have everything, including the internet, and they can't? Get it? So, yeah, I really need the Holy Spirit on this one, because I have the me going on, and it's really angry and upset and just really put out. There was one guy who really went to bat after, when they were all talking like stupid little cucks about it the next day. And this guy, he saw the thing on the internet about petitioning to get me deported. Whoever does that in America? Who would treat them like that in America? These people, they have not experienced enough. Not at all. Anyway, there's the neighbor that laughs at me, but he's also friendly. I like him. He's a good guy. I really don't like that he laughs, always talking about me after looking my way or something. But I just have to get over it, because I do like him. It's, you can't have more than everybody else, because people are greedy little selfish, self-centered, no matter where you are. They're always envious. They always have the 7 deadly sins. I mean, the one here that really gets you, and it'll get you killed too, is envy. And it doesn't matter if you're a Filipino or somebody else. If you have something that somebody else wants and can't have, they blame you for that. They don't celebrate your success, thereby sowing seeds for their own success. No. They just think about it, and they don't like you because you have something that they don't have. That's what you get when you have kind of undereducated, 40% impoverished. I mean, that's what poverty's all about. It's lack of education, and there's a lot of envy when it comes to that. But yeah, today, man, I just really, I'm having a hard time with the Philippines. After that treatment just a week ago, I haven't gotten over it. I really haven't. I'm not going to quit, I don't think, but I feel like it. That kid, he didn't, I didn't deserve to be treated like that. No. They should have brought that boy back and had him apologize to me for getting in my way and running into my water and dirtying my water. That's how I feel. I mean, just kidding. But maybe he didn't dirty my water, but he sure did get in its way on its way to its destination. Slowed it down. You know, I mean, really, what I'm trying to say is nothing against the boy, but all that against me because he got wet when he was acting like a little jerk and he wasn't listening. That's what everybody said, by the way. Him and that whole group, they were acting like little jackasses, like kids do, and he got wet for it. Good. He deserved it. You know what? In the old days, he'd got his little ass beat for it. That's what you do. That's how you train kids. It was a terrible experience. I've never been treated like that before. Over water. I mean, you'd think. There was a guy, not long ago, I guess a year ago or so, some guy slapped a kid. Just a little guy. He was about this big. He slapped him. It wasn't even a relative, not a friend, nothing. He just slapped that kid, made him cry. And man, his dad wanted to jack him up. But his dad is a great man. You'll see in videos I point him out, I call him great man because of the way he takes care of his family and his reputation while his wife is working out of the country. But they didn't have that big giant mess that they had over this water getting spilt on the kid who was acting like a little asshole. He went to the proper channels, you know. He needed to talk to somebody because I'll tell you right now, you lay hands on a kid, by God, somebody's going to want to jack you up. Don't ever do that. I would never do that. Are you kidding? Put your hand on my daughter even today. Or even a kid, some kid I don't know, standing next to me. If you're not the parent, man, I don't know if I can control my attitude. It's natural. You want to protect a kid, but give me a break. The kid got wet. Just fuck off. Forget it. Just a little thing. It's nothing. But the point. I'm sorry I'm cussing, but I'm very irritated. I almost want to just forget this place. The first thing I woke up to today is somebody talking about another white guy getting married. You know what his crime was? I mean, getting married. Getting murdered. You know what his crime was? And I can understand why they put 3 bullets in his head. Real nice guy, and he was sitting in a bar drinking, and 2 Filipinos walked up and asked him to buy them a beer. He said no. I know. He deserved to get murdered for that. He did say no. Blow his ass away. I totally get that. But that's what I'm talking about. You know? Being an American here, it's, you know, these guys on the blogs, and even me, make it really nice, and I think it's really great on some days, but today I just think it's really shit. Honestly. I really don't like it, and I'm being honest. And guess what? I have the right to change, to have a different day. I feel that way today, but I'm a guy, unlike those guys that murdered that guy in the bar for not giving them their way. I actually think my way through problems. And so what I'm doing right now is telling you honestly how I feel about what happened. And about, consequently, living in this country. And there's more experience. It's not just that led up to me feeling that way for this day. And then, but whenever I do something, especially if it's something big like this, moving to another country or another state, I tend to do it for 2 years at least, and I've already done that for 1 year here, and never less than 5. I always, not never. In the old days, a job was definitely a year. Shoot for 2. Even if I didn't like it, you got to stay for 2 years. But that's what I do. I put limits, and I don't do things and then just change my mind 9 months through, because you can't do that. I came here and I got married, and I'm in another country. That's not something that everybody does. In fact, not a lot of people do that. This is a big opportunity, and even if I'm having a real bad day, or a really bad week, remember, if, say, you're taking flying lessons, you're going to have real bad days because you got the learning curve. You don't know things. Um, if I would have known that that was going to happen, I would have avoided it. I personally don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? In my country, I don't care. If a kid is doing what he's not supposed to be doing and he gets wet because I throw water out there, that's his fucking problem. You come over here, you want to have a fight with me? Not only will you go to jail, but I'll kick your ass. Not the kid, the parent. Everybody knows that in America. Well, I'm getting a little older now. I might not go with the kick your ass part. But definitely come over and start talking to me about your kid and being threatening and maybe lay hands on me. You will go to jail. Because I live in a civilized country. I'm not a badass. I've been known to protect myself and overdo it. Because, you know, I'm a pretty stout guy. And I don't want to fight. But if you push me far enough, and or I'm protecting myself or somebody else, I can do some damage. In fact, I can fly. I'm telling you, don't believe me. But, you know, those days are kind of past. I'm 52 years old, and I have to start thinking about not taking a chance of getting clocked. You know, you can get killed by getting hit once. I don't want to get killed for fighting, something stupid like fighting. It's uncivilized. But definitely shooting somebody in the head 3 times because they wouldn't buy you a beer, that is definitely civilized. You should always do that. Yeah, and especially if he's a white guy. Damn, or an American. This is just one little example. It goes beyond that. And this is my first year, so now I don't have any plans. I am going to bitch about this because I've been wronged. The kid wasn't wrong. No, forget him. He's not a victim. He's a little shit. So are the parents. I have been wronged. And I'm really upset about it because I'm in another country and I don't know what I can do. I have to just... What can you do? I'm literally a second-class citizen here. I can't raise hell. I can't do anything. All I can do is... And especially, I might make my wife mad or upset. She gets upset because she's worried. But I can get through it. And I can get to a better day, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I will get to a better day. I will not cut and run until it's a choice. You know, like, if I'm having a good time in this country, and I've been here for about 5 years, 3 to 5 years, and there's not any big problems, which there really isn't right now, just my big attitude, I can make a choice to do something. Maybe I want to go back to the States, get to know my grandkids, which were born while I was gone. Maybe I want to go check out my properties. Maybe I want to go get in a van and drive around and show my wife the whole United States. She'd like that. I would definitely be interested in that. But just because I'm having a bad day, I'm not going to pack my dog up and leave. No. 36 hours back to what? The United States, where it's civilized? It's civilized, but it's not really civilized. It's really in jeopardy right now, given the snowflakes and what are they called? The squad, the ridiculousness going on in the Communist Party. I mean, the Democrat Party. A lot of demons in America right now. So, yeah, there's some problems right here, right now. But I'm in no hurry to go back. I do need a little Holy Spirit, though. I ask you to pray for me. I need some Holy Spirit in my heart. In many ways, this place is really difficult. I mean, it's a lawless land in some ways. I mean, 2 guys fighting out in the street. In America, the police would be right there stop it and haul somebody off to jail. Maybe both. Yeah. No fighting. Here, I swear to you, there was a fight outside. About, I say about 3 hours, but I'm going to just be conservative and say it was, it seems like it was an hour and a half, but it could have been only 20 minutes. I don't know. It's just there. It was long and drawn out, and somebody got a brick over the head. Don't worry, those things just turned to dust here. It was a violent fight. In fact, the same thing happened over that happened to me about this water situation. The whole neighborhood was right out in front of my house. It was, and they didn't call the police. Nobody called the police. No police ever came. It was an eye-opener. Don't get in a fight here. If you're a coward and you get in bar fights knowing that the cops are going to save you, I never go to the bar, by the way. Never, ever. You're gonna be fighting your own battle, and you might die here because police aren't coming. No, not out in the province. I don't know how it is in the city, but yeah, you got to be careful here. Well, you know, when you're a grown-up, the best thing to do is just not get in a fight. Everybody's in the trees. Now, see that guy? He's harvesting this tree. They do that like 10 times so far this year. You can see out there. Can you see that fruit? That's good fruit. Worth climbing for, as you can see. Anyway, it was a hell of a week. Good news is we got some materials delivered, and we're having this. I think the guy was smart enough not to promise a certain day, but this porch might get done. He will do it, but he was smart. He's learned. Do not say you're going to do it on a certain day and then don't show up with me. I respect that. I respect it. You can be reliable even if you don't do something by not saying you'll do it on a certain day. So look, we have our materials right there, and down below